Hi folks! So new weekend and we are back with the China versus Europe Championship, and we're going to concentrate on the losers bracket for a little bit. And today we have this game between Alex and Vodka coming up, and then later on hopefully we'll be able to record that one as well between Adam and Robin. So these are elimination games. Players need to win to stay in the tournament. Whoever loses, it will be their second loss and they are eliminated from the tournament. As you can see, the winners bracket only has one game remaining between the two Austrians, and one of them will reach the final. The other one drops down into this one at the end, so we'll need the pairings today to be played, and then the winners play each other, and then the winner of that one plays the loser of the winners bracket semi-finals. So lots more games in the bottom, as you can see. So we've had 8 and should be 7 games remaining at the most until we crown our champion. And let's see if our game has started. Not quite, but we'll join it anyway. And here we go. So let's see what the players have for us today. We have Alex playing Greyjoy Fealty. Never know with him. So last time he played it, it was a more conventional Greyjoy deck, but in the past he's played Drown God as well. So we'll know in a minute or so. And we have Vodka playing Martell Battle of the Trident, which has been very popular in recent times. Nice setup for both players, especially for Alex here. So still inconclusive because of the presence of the Fanatic, but I think it won't be a Drowned God deck, judging by the Great Hall. Going for the Maiden, and we have Behest as the opener, so this is okay, that's one from the past. Behest into Naval, interesting. I was going to say, yeah, if you watched the game we recorded with Steven in the Champions of Westeros, he talks about his deck a little bit, and Behest there was used to reveal a plot in the challenger's phase that doesn't really without the corresponding trait, as you can see. So if you can reveal it on the on the intrigue challenge, you can then swap into a war or a siege at a more dangerous time, maybe into the 3-claim desperate attack, and then you can do military after that. But playing it as the opener is a little bit different. It works more with the used plots business, obviously, that Martell likes, so maybe this deck has a bit more support for that. And yeah, going into Naval, always nice. But yeah, at this point, with the 3 reducers, the agenda and Great Hall, I think something can probably still be done here. and the board is okay as well, so not too bad here for Alex at all. Slightly bad luck playing naval superiority, and then that's the one game where 3 reducers are set up. And nothing from Vodka. Even though he does have the characters to trigger the agenda, but looks like it's not worth it for him. And doesn't look like Alex can push anything through either here. Guess he can go for the intrigue challenge with both, just to get something. Losing Nightmares, which currently is not such a great card, so not too bad. And we'll see what the plan is here. So this is already a plot I wasn't expecting. 10 remaining, and here's another taxation. We saw it previously in this tournament. I think it's the first time I ever saw taxation in a proper game, and yeah, going for it here with probably no other purpose than just to get the 5 gold from it. We take Westeros with an empty discard pile as far as locations are concerned, so you can always do the Iron Gate trick, use it for draw and then put it back if there is a raider, which there should be. So I was going to say naval superiority is one of the siege and war plots, and yeah, can't include everything. So if you want marched, if you want duel and the pointy end and stuff like that, heads on spikes, eventually you will run out of space for all the plots, so they will be a little bit different each time you face the Battle of the Trident, which of course is nice, and potential to get stronger as well with new plots being released with the corresponding traits. So we have Asha, which is pretty decent, although currently she doesn't search too many cards, and we have a raider to pick up that Iron Gate. Now on the other side we have another surprise, Core Red Viper, so yeah, completely different strategy to some of the games I've had against this agenda. And was there even a single limited card coming in? Doesn't look like it, so yeah, taxation just for the 5 gold. Interesting. And that's how limiting this agenda is as far as economy goes. So no kingdoms, even the Manifest God with no kingdoms, you can definitely feel that if you build that deck. It has very strong synergies otherwise, but yeah, no kingdoms hurts, and this, and of course no kingdoms, and no some of the other stuff that you could have used instead. So just yeah, trying his best to get some gold with unusual plots here. But yeah, the Viper is of course a card that can win games in a perfect situation. And I think he will have the strength to push a challenge through and flip into something, which then becomes interesting if it's Wildfire Assault. Greyjoy has played lots of stuff, but then yeah, the hand is not empty. So maybe not the perfect opportunity here. Always slightly dangerous to leave it unopposed against Greyjoy, so not doing that, just in case. Of course, now that Poor Fellows has defended, the other two are not armies or commanders. So the agenda won't be used this round, and hasn't been used so far at all. Asha grabs a card, and now the Viper does something. What's the best one? It's Intrigue. That makes perfect sense. The other two don't really do anything as far as claim goes. Now let's see if there is any other surprise here in Vodka's hand, or just the 1 power for the Viper. The runs game is pretty small at this point, so if he does have it in hand, maybe I was going to suggest leave it for later. Then obviously no guarantees that you can push it through later, or that it doesn't get discarded. So just going for that power, and yeah, it's a decent start, but it's not quite game winning, and the strength on the board is not huge enough here to push a big challenge through with the Red Viper. Now the question is what happens if Morghulis is revealed. 4 cards in hand, no saves that are apparent, and Greyjoy has a pretty full hand and some economy, and probably has grabbed a reason or something like that for Asha. Although so no real need to risk it right now, since the big board does favor Alex. And both players going for return to the fields, I guess. Expecting more goalies on this side, and on the other side, if it's Wildfire Assault, you're losing initiative, so that doesn't really work, or are you? So the Maiden played in first round gives him advantage against Wildfire Assault, so probably expecting that one, and they both miss. But yeah, good chance to get some more cards for Alex here. He can trade some of the less useful characters. Vodka not so much, because he only has 4 to begin with, so he can sacrifice 1 maybe. And yeah, getting rid of all of his reducers here. Looks like he doesn't need them. And just a begging brother on the other side for the extra card. Slightly unlucky with that extension play. I guess it gives you the option to play additional limited cards, so having just 2 Rose Roads in hand at that point is pretty nice, but didn't do anything with that. And now there isn't that much gold, so tough to get a big board. And the draw cancelled here. Galtown increases the number of used plots, so that's now up to 4, which means Duran's game close to the maximum, and the Viper currently not benefiting from that, but he could. Obviously the Princess plan works with that, and if core Duran is played, then that's a bigger boost for the Viper. But I'm just guessing a little that those cards are available. There has to be obviously some focus on the armies, possibly the commanders. There is the Tattered Prince, I think, with the commander trait. If you're going to use the agenda, or maybe the plan is not really to abuse the agenda too much and just to play it normally, get used plots like in a Wars deck, for instance, because triggering the agenda forces you to remove it, so you're not gaining the used plots bonus that way, except for that 1 round at the very end when all plots return and you get 8 in the used pile for just 1 chance of those big boosts that Martell gets. So Euron comes in, not first player at the moment, so the loop with Intimidate and Maiden's Bane, that is a huge threat, is currently not going to cause that much of a problem for this 1 round, but then for the rest of the game will be annoying, I think, for Vodka here. But he has some plans of his own here, so to the spears means that everyone can attack on the 1 challenge, so in military icons all around, that means going for that first. And if you don't defend a little bit, then the Viper gets his 3 power here, or 2 power, and then can do another challenge after that. Okay, so that's 14, which gives 2 power to the Viper, and there is an army in the challenge, well, a few armies anyway, to trigger the agenda if he wants to. Now duel here suddenly is pretty good, and it is a war plot that you can do on the military challenge. Well, if that's in the deck, it's coming here, and if it's not, then that's too bad, because it's there won't be a better chance ever, I think, to get a really good duel here. Kills one and nails the other one, and Greyjoy cannot restand characters that are nailed usually, except for Victarion. I wonder if he is still deciding, or if the reaction window has already closed. No, still deciding, so yeah, no duel, but flips into Wildfire Assault. It's after claim, so it's not going to kill an additional character. And the Fanatic does kind of like to go into the dead pile, so not huge damage done here for Alex. He gets to keep Asha, Euron, and possibly the Maester. Although, yeah, Euron needs the other Raider to get Intimidate. And that's what happens. So still decent enough here for Alex, but he has to be a little bit careful. So it's 7 power. Can't give the Viper anything big here. The good thing for him is that the icons don't match up, so the Viper can attack with 11 on Intrigue and 11 on Power. So he gets 2 at most. And that's not really close enough to victory. Yeah, Asha will do 3, I think, with Maiden's Bane, whatever happens, so doesn't matter what the other characters do, you can oppose them. You can oppose the Power and Intrigue with the River and Euron, I think. Strong, but not safe. And going for the last one as well, because Grey Ghost and Stealth will stop it defending anyway. And now, interestingly, I guess Alex will defend this successfully here with the Fanatic coming in. Euron doesn't need the Intimidate anymore, and now Asha gets 3 unopposed and 3 times the draw, which Alex will need to turn this around, because the score is 11, as you can see, to nothing at all currently. And that's a good one. That's a good pillage here. So that's the one that lets you attack first and get all kinds of power. Although winning initiative is going to be difficult against Greyjoy now, I think. And all the Intimidate maybe gets rid of your Viper. Now the discard pile growing bigger, so Asha is going to grab her reasons. Question is, do you have enough tools to turn the game around without resetting? Morghulis gets Vodka down to just the 3 power, so game basically starts again, and he doesn't have that much resources. But then if you can do it without, even better. And I think the card that Vodka really would like here is a good Secret Schemes. Would grab 5 cards next round with pretty decent economy. Two cards over reserve, throws out Alanis. I guess with so much draw she isn't going to be needed anymore. And now what does Martell have as a counter to that Morghulis play? Has Siege Preparations, that's going to grab cards, but not immediately. And it doesn't win initiative either, so now a save on Asha. Ooh, that cancel needs to be successful here, I think. There's another reason. Is there a second hand's judgment? Well, that's a pretty dream scenario here. Okay, but that means the other card is the only one left now, so yeah, that makes the game interesting at least, but with 7 cards in hand and going first here against just the top deck, it's still pretty good for Alex, I would say, but interesting anyway that 2 hands judgment cancelling the 2 reasons. So in hindsight, not going for the reset would have been better, because yeah, the 2 hands judgments wouldn't have enhanced the board in any way for Vodka, so just going first and intimidating the Viper would have been a better play. But yeah, how can you possibly predict that So even after getting the intrigue claim last round, the two hands judgment survived. And now is there enough gold to play something decent here? With Grey Ghost, anything with the captain trade could get a few challenges. Still not bad. Yeah, and after this round, Vodka is in a good position with siege preparations. And now Balon will get his 2 unopposed challenges. Or not. So even that one last card can have Klitos defend this one, but why not just attack back and try to kill Balon? Yeah, he stopped from defending this anyway by Grey Ghost, so okay, support of the people, something good needs to come in, let's see. I don't think Iron Mines is going to be in the deck. It's yeah, unfortunately I think pretty much unplayable at the moment. It was redesigned and nerfed a little bit too much. But Great Kraken, so that gives Balon stealth, which he doesn't really benefit from, but it also gives Alex some draw. Power as well, I guess, but he's not that close to victory for that to matter. Now let's see what he picks here. So goes for the power now. He is over reserve, so if he had nothing great he would have drawn, I'm sure, but going for power instead. And now has he managed to get another save? 2 reasons already spent and only half the deck drawn, so chances are he does not have the other one. He does have the Fanatic, so if he doesn't have a save he could just kill Balon and defend instead. No. Fair enough. And here is the siege preparations. And now we start again. But the difference now is that Alex is ahead on power, but his position, 3 of the big 4 already dead, only Victorian left, and Vodka has the full hand, and as you can see he has 5 economy locations. First now, not bad limits what Vodka can put on the board. And we have City Besiege, so that could target economy. On bigger boards you would get rid of this Maiden's Bane probably, which is annoying because of its stand, maybe Grey Ghost, but 3 gold and Fealty only, you could target the economy, and then it's unlikely that anything that survives for snow would come in. And Vodka has one initiative, so that's the first choice he's actually making here. He goes first. Okay, targeting one, the big location, and one of the other ones, so still leaving that sea tower, which lets Alex have basically 5 gold if he has a Greyjoy card and a loyal one, which is not guaranteed. And here we have a dupe for Clitus and the King's Road, very nice in this situation as a counter to first snow. And now you also have the problem of Drowned Fanatic cancels draw again. You also have the problem of defending against military, even if you do have something that survives first snow. So if you can just play something small, it's going to die, and then you've achieved very little. Yeah, that duped Alanis that was discarded for reserve suddenly is not such a bad option. Here comes the Iron Throne. That's I've seen more Iron Throne played in this tournament than all the other games I've ever seen combined. I think everyone seems to be playing it, and it's proven to be a pretty good card. It's not open deck list, so you have to make the right call. And the call here, I think, is going to be Duran's game, is it? Because that's the one thing that wins quickly, as opposed to a slow grind without any renown on the board that we'll see otherwise. And if Vodka is not going to lose a challenge, which she isn't going to, that Princess plan cannot be coming back for the power challenge, the power icon. So for his sake it would be good to have one in hand, or maybe an ambush character. Now the card in shadows. Yeah, here is a 4-coster. That's one of the ones I was thinking of, so can't play that because it just dies. The card in shadows is a mystery here, so could be Hagen's daughter, which would be useful. Could be Pinch, not that great, or could be Night Flyer, also not great at this moment. Maybe Old Bill Bone that gets rid of the agenda, but looks like Vodka is not really bothered about triggering the agenda too much here. It's a 2-claim round, so if he can, and he cannot, unfortunately for him. So a bit of luck here, I think, for Alex, not to suffer that 2-claim power swing. Unopposed power would get Vodka to 10, bring Alex down to 6. Not first player this round, so he can't use the Iron Gates. Yeah, but that's pretty decent, unfortunately for him. I was going to say doesn't win initiative against Clitus, but okay, against the 1 it actually does. I think Clitus has +7, does he? So it's just about, but it is enough to win this time, and yeah, I think he needed that really. not using the Iron Throne here. He's going to save it for challenges. Now let's see that Victarion coming in. Yeah. Here he is, and he's pretty good in this situation because he has pretty much infinite stand now. Well, infinite stand, it's limit twice, but he can do both challenges and still stand. Nothing to nil really with the other ability. And yeah, putting more economy in, so whatever the card in shadows is, it's not going to be coming in probably with 0 gold. Okay, that is going to make something bigger potentially, and it is a power icon. And not enough Iron Thrones to get rid of everything, so if you have to call Duran's game, and you probably do, then that means you can't call the Princess Plan, and there is enough gold to take that back and play it after the inevitable loss on the power challenge. Okay. Using the faction card to get massive gold here, 9 for the Duran's game. So here comes a strength increase for Ricasso, and he is a power icon. And still 10 gold left. So even if you do push something through, that just gets the Princess Plan back, and that's then pretty huge. So that's the final round where the use plots are pretty big. So when you reveal the last one, actually no, so it's 2 rounds left. So when you reveal the next round, anything that's removed from the game comes back, so that's the maximum. Then you get 8 in the used pile for a little while, with just the taxation coming back. So since he hasn't used the agenda much, he's allowed that number to grow really nicely, and with Ricasso and Galtown as well. So other Trident decks don't necessarily do that. They use the agenda more, and then you have maybe 3 removed from the game, which reduces the number in the used pile by 3. But still, as you saw, Duran's game getting 9, so it would gain 6 instead, which is still pretty huge. So you can still play with that mechanic pretty successfully. So next round he still has a big number, and then he has to reveal the final plot, which does not bring the number down to 0 though, because Ricasso and Galtown keep it at +3 always. Okay, Victarion can stand, so we can afford to do this, and Ricasso, Grey Ghost used on Ricasso, so he cannot defend this one. Is there another way to defend, is the question. And if there isn't, he's still going to grab that Princess Plan back, which is a decent deal here for Vodka. Now, is the power going to be dangerous here? So it's to claim with the Great Kraken and Renown. It's not quite enough to really be close to victory. And with that trigger, he is not going to win the military now, probably. Close. Very close with this one. Now does he do the military? Victorian has another stand. Okay. That gives him the intrigue icon. Duran's game cannot be played, so no real danger. And probably, since yeah, it's getting dangerous, so he needs an additional character by doing that. And if Victorian does the military, that also needs a defender. I don't think there is a way to get unopposed anymore. And then he can hope that maybe Vodka only has the 2 challenges back and can do all 3. But 9 gold and 4 cards in hand, and he did use that in Duran's name. Possibly, I'm guessing, for a reason, otherwise may have got away with saving it. Or maybe not. He did, yeah, he did put Dawn in and has the gold for Princess Plan now. Okay, anything weird in hand that stops the defender here? I'm guessing there isn't, because he would have used it previously. And now the Princess Plan has to be played, surely, to win on defense. And Victorian still standing. So 13, and now comes the comeback. I wonder, so he's going first, and Duran's game is not a threat if you don't do the intrigue challenge. I wonder if he called the Princess Plan, what the situation would be here. So he couldn't do this fake one probably in between to kneel out an additional character. I'm not sure that was a way to win, probably still comes up short even with that. And then you do possibly lose with Duran's game being played for 5 power on the comeback. But now it's not that critical. It's still 12-8. Tie for dominance as well, so still half a chance. And Princess Plan back in the discard pile, and I doubt there is a second copy. And this time no secret schemes or anything like that. So what's the last plot here? Nothing burns. Okay, gets rid of Dawn. That's pretty good. And we have manning the city walls. That's going to put a character in. From hand. Yeah, so that's the one point where it's at 8 plots in the used pile, plus the 3 you get from your other cards. That's now pretty huge here. So the only thing that Alex has in his favor is that doesn't have the icon, so but he has to call Duran's game again because he's not first player. Now, you could take the gamble and not call it, call the princess plan instead, but it's possibly losing the game. Now let's see. Marauders coming in, that was the one I didn't name, and it's choosing the one coster just to see what is in hand. So the Dead Viper, you have the Rose Road, a copy of Galtown and the Princess Plan, so there was one that would have given that power icon. Now he cannot do it on attack, I don't think. If only Alex had known before that there wasn't Duran's game in hand. Now, is there anything useful with the agenda here? Because there's no way to gain the power to win the game, and doesn't appear to be a way to force Alex to successfully defend the challenge. So if you do intrigue, Alex can leave it unopposed, you can't get your princess plan back. Actually, there is one in... what am I saying? There is one in hand that wasn't discarded, so there's still a chance to give the power icon here. And one is all you need and all you can afford, basically, so... So if you win the power on attack, it brings it down to 11 for Alex, kneeling your big power icon in the process, and then if he does a power back with Renown, it's not quite a winning plan. Now let's see, so going into another manning with the agenda. And Fanatic Intimidated, which stops the intrigue challenge, but then he ends his challenges here, leaving the rest for defense, because he has to play around all the unopposed. So he has the princess plan for an icon on anything that is not prevented from defending, and currently there is only Grey Ghost and no other way of stopping anything from defending. So the princess plan works on any character, even neutral ones. using the agenda has also now reduced the numbers. So it's just +3 for the princess plan. It's +11 before, which is enough to defend against Victarion with his Ironfleet Scout probably. But now it's not. And enough ships to get renown as well. That looks like possibly a misplay, but if he can survive the round, he of course is getting the plots back. And the highest one with Cletus and his +3 maybe is enough to win initiative and go first next round. Looks like there won't be a next round now. Yeah, he's going to stop Ricasso here because he already has the icon, and then Cletus can get his +3. And there is still another ship to give Victarion renown. Now, was anything else? No, we saw the entire hand, so the Marauders were triggered in this round, so there isn't anything. It was Rose Road and the Viper were the other cards. So looks like that was a suicidal plan to reduce the used plots number here back to 3. With 11 he could have defended this, and then last round he has manning the city walls as the plot to reveal in the plot phase and losing. Does he lose or win initiative with Cletus? So he would still have a... No, he would lose it probably, so yeah, very, very questionable whether he would have won from that position. I think it was difficult. So a very interesting game, that sequence of play with Morghulis revealed and then 2 reasons cancelled by 2 hands judgments, and Vodka turning it around with siege preparations, but that Iron Throne was a bit of safety for Alex to stop the runs game, which as we saw Vodka did not have in hand. And then very nice finish with Victarion, the last surviving character of these big 4 unique characters, and the one who can stand and gain renown as well. And he targeted that weak icon that was missing on Vodka's side, so very nicely played. And that now means that Alex survives this tournament, so he plays the winner of our next game that's coming up in about 30 minutes. And Vodka is eliminated from the tournament, the 3rd player after Raius and Superduck that is eliminated, and we'll get our 4th one when the next game is played. So thanks for joining me on this one, and hope to see you in the next one as well.